Welcome back. The UN Security Council is set to meet later this evening to discuss the escalating tensions in Lebanon as Israel appears to be moving toward an expansion of its conflict with Hezbollah. Earlier today, the IDF released this video of one of its leaders visiting troops along Israel's northern border. In the video, he tells soldiers to prepare for a possible ground operation in Lebanon. It comes as Lebanese officials say Israeli airstrikes killed more than 50 people today, a day after the country reported more than 550 deaths. Israel, meanwhile, says it intercepted a missile fired from Lebanon toward Tel Aviv. This is video that appears to show that incident. It would be the first time Hezbollah had targeted Israel's economic hub. NBC News International correspondent Matt Bradley joins me now from Beirut. So, Matt, let's talk about this. There's been a lot of discussion about a ground invasion. Does it now seem inevitable? Where do things stand?
Well, I wouldn't say it seems inevitable, Kristen, but I mean, the language that we've been hearing from the chief of staff of the Israeli military really makes it sound like they are girding for that very possibility in a way that almost looks as though there's no going back. I can't make predictions, and every time I do, Kristen, I end up with egg on my face, so I'm not going to do that now. We did hear the words possibly and potentially, but we also heard in those same comments, and he was addressing his own rank and file, his own troops in northern Israel. He said, and we use this term, boots on the ground. He said to these troops, put on your boots, kind of lace up your shoes, put on your boots for these maneuvers. And he described everything about the upcoming operation, not in a tactical way, but he talked about how they will be going into, and he used the word will be, after he used the word perhaps and possibly earlier in his statements, saying that they will be going into villages and towns that have been fortified by Hezbollah, areas where they're going to be meeting really strenuous resistance. And he said that they will be showing these Hezbollah fighters an example of a professional fighting force. So there is, on some level, both the preparation and it sounds almost like the will and the desire to go in and execute what could become a blistering operation.
Yeah, the clearest indication yet, it is a real possibility, that's for sure. And it comes as Secretary of State Antony Blinken saying today to Savannah Guthrie that he is pushing for a temporary ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah. Do you have a sense of where those efforts stand?
I mean, we're talking about a ceasefire. We're talking about an American government that no longer has the same kind of traction on the Israeli government that it did maybe even a month ago, maybe even 2 months ago. This is, a decoupling of two of the strongest allies that the world knows right now, the United States and Israel. We're no longer seeing them intact. And we had this on our own NBC News reporting on our website that American officials no longer feel as though Jerusalem is listening to them. And so in the past, remember in the early days when I think I was here in Beirut speaking to you, Kristen, from here when there were always these indications that the Israelis would be doing the same thing that it looks like they're about to do now, attack forcefully Hezbollah or even move in with a ground invasion. Back then, it was the Biden administration, and this doesn't get nearly enough credit, it was the Biden administration that prevailed upon Netanyahu to step back from the brink and bring Israel away from what could become and what still could become a terrifying region-wide war. It looks as though, from our own reporting again, that the Biden administration no longer has that kind of leverage.
All right. Well, Matt Bradley, thank you as always for your reporting. Please continue to stay safe. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.